Tonight's video is about driver's hours of service. Do we need them or not? I think not, but I'll give you some reasons why in this video. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. It'd be great to have you on here. And if you have already subscribed, touch the little bell thing and then you'll get notified when you hear some more of my inane drivelling on the YouTube. Speak to you later. Enjoy the video. Howdy doody. Tonight, it's Monday night, the 12th of October, and my health is getting better day by day. Still, if I go for a walk any more than a quarter of a mile, I end up having to go to my bed and have a lie down. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about driver's hours of service and logs and ELDs, and what's the point? Do we need them? I don't think we do. Well, let me tell you why. So, a couple of examples. Well, a bit of a backstory. I drove years ago with logbooks and probably didn't do it by the letter, as most people probably didn't. If you're half an hour from home, you know, we've all done it. Let's just drive home and log it differently. I hate to say that, but you know, nobody's going to be coming home for the weekend and then they get to within 20 miles of their house and go, well, I'll see you in 45 hours. You know, that just becomes insanity when it comes to practicalities and common sense. However, there are new driver's hours out, which I don't even know what they are yet because we're not running on them. We're just keeping the country fed. But so years ago, I never got into wrecks because I was driving tired. Never did anything stupid. There may be a few out there that spoil it for everybody. However, I believe that when the president of the country comes out and says, okay, no driver's rules. The same thing happened in the UK, I believe, with tachograph rules. I don't know whether that's back in force or not, but they made it so that we did have to use them for about 4 weeks or so, and it was horrendous going back to doing that after being able to run free and intelligently. And that's what it comes down to. People think that truck drivers are morons. They think we're stupid and thick and don't know how to do things. Otherwise, they wouldn't put an electronic tracking device into your cab to record when you sleep, when you eat, when you take a break, when, you know, there's no intelligence or free agency given to that driver to say that he's a responsible human being to know when he's tired and when he's not tired. That's my opinion only, right? So, I believe that we were asked as and treated very well. I've had people come up to me in truck stops. I've had pulled onto the waste station in Cortez, Colorado, and thought, oh no, I'm going to get DOT'd here. And people walk up to you with a high-vis jacket. You pull into scale and they come up from that side and they walk up and they say, there you go, driver. And there's a Gatorade and a lunch because we are the heroes. We're out there in the COVID and we're supplying the country with food. That lasted for maybe a couple, 3 months, and then everybody had toilet paper and the things that they couldn't get. And then it went back to, let's get your logs back in, get back in your cage. We're going to show you how to do it again. Back to what we think, exactly how to govern you inside your cab in your own private space. And then that lasted for about a month, and then they said, okay, no, go back to this. I've got a ticket pending on my operator's license for driving an essential load, and it said essential right across the top in big capital letters. This is an essential load. I never put it there. The shipper put it there. We were hauling potatoes to a food bank. That's right on the bill. And I think if that's not essential, then... But the people that gave us the ticket said, well, we think that's going to be rescinded at the end of August or September. Can't remember when it was. I think it was August. We know that's going to be rescinded at the end of the month. And then they come out right before it's going to be the deadline of it and say, well, we're going to extend it to the end of the year. Now, trucking is supply and demand. Always is, always has been, and probably always will be. If there's 10 trucks and 5 loads, the people who are shipping the loads are in control of the price. If it's flip-flopped and there's 5 trucks and 10 loads, the guys with the trucks are in control. So bearing in mind that we're running up towards, I've actually got a load in one of my trucks tonight, a load of turkeys going to grocery stores, paying supersonic money, I have to say, from Denver to Montana. There are 10 stops at 10 grocery stores, but it's paying $4 a mile, you know. You can unload all day long as the grocery store's open, you know, they'll unload you. But back to what I was saying there about the driver's hours. I've lost my train of thought. Well, yeah, it's come up to Thanksgiving. It's harvest time with the potatoes, with the onions. In California, there's a lot of produce coming on. There's stuff coming over the border. And so a lot of people who have been hauling produce coming up to Christmas time, there's a lot of Christmas shipments. There's a lot of online shopping being done. So the freight out there right now is intense. The supply of trucks, I don't think is meeting the demand, because if it was, the rates would not be as good as we're getting. So the fact that the FMCSA has come out, and I believe it's all the way from the top of the tree in the government, has came out and said, we don't need you to have logs. We want you to haul the stuff. We don't want you to be sitting there with food on your truck that's going to a grocery store and the people are needing it and you're restricted from delivering it because of a rule book. All right. So the fact that the rates are really high right now, not really high, but they're good rates. We're getting good money. That tells me that despite us being able to run flat out, there's still a lot of freight to be shipped at this time of year. There's still a lot of money out there to put towards that freight because people want their freight shipped. So then it brings me to the question, how much does it cost the country to have logbooks, driver's hours of service, okay? If we weren't allowed to do this, what would the rates be? Are we just jumping through the hoops with logbooks, with hours of service? Okay, they keep changing them and making additions and changes, and I think, you know, you've let us get away with it without having them, and there's not been any massive spike in road accidents because drivers are fatigued, and it's no. Drivers are just appreciating the fact that they can use their brain. They're in charge of £80,000 for the most part, going down the road at 70, 80 miles an hour, through cities with a great big vehicle, yet you're entrusted to do that, but you don't have the brains to know when you're tired. You don't have the brains to know how your body works and how you feel great. I'll just keep running for a little couple more hours, you know, and get to a good spot. So I'm going to give you a couple of things here. But having said that though, going back a little bit, we've been allowed to do it for all this time. And why should it be only when it suits the lawmakers? Oh, forget about that rule book. It doesn't really matter. You know, we need the stuff more than we need you to keep the rules. Just get going. Go, deliver it. Get the toilet paper to the shops. Get the spuds to the warehouses. Get the feed there for the animals. You know, all that counts to keep people fed. And if we've been entrusted to do that between way back then and the end of the year, why have it in the first place? Why even bother with driver's hours? So I was talking to my son today on this, and I just think it'd be a great idea. So did he. It's his idea. I don't know how to go about it, whether we could get a bunch of owner-operators, smaller trucking companies, because the big guys, they're still staying by the rules and still, they don't care, you know. I know a guy that was working for Swift, and he called them up and said, hey, these driver's hours have been abolished. Is that okay for me? Nope, it's not. You need to stay with the rules, because that's it, you know. So it's really no these super duper great, wonderful mega carriers that are keeping the country fed. It's the little guys like me, like the guys that drive for me, like other people like me throughout the industry. There's thousands and thousands of us that are doing a bit extra. So, a couple of examples. Today, Brett was in Utah and was started running after he unloaded. He was in the door, and got unloaded. Let's just say he started work at 10:30. He drives up to Idaho, gets here by 2, and he's kept waiting for 6 hours to get loaded. All right. Technically, he can still work till midnight tonight, but he has been sitting here all that time in a dock, and it's a where he was at. I filmed a video at it. I don't know if I didn't put it on, did I? Can't remember. It's in the middle of nowhere, 2 docks, and sat there for 6 hours. Frustrated beyond belief. Gets loaded and comes down here into Idaho Falls and gets something to eat and says, I'm just going to go to bed, get up and run. But if you're on ELDs, you can't really do that. You've got to make use of every hour you've got. And so instead of him going to bed at 9 o'clock, getting up at 4 or 5, guys our age need to get up for a pee quite early anyway. So for me, the way I run is I would have probably driven down the road for a couple of hours this afternoon and go to the ranch hand casino, truck stop, just in the Idaho-Wyoming border. But I parked up there, got up in the morning, and what I like to do is waking up about that time. Once you've done your morning pee, go. 5 o'clock in the morning, drive for 4 hours. You've got nearly 300 miles done before you have your breakfast. You have a quick breakfast, maybe about Wamsutter by about 10, say, and then get a snack, something to eat, get a free drink, fill up your juice and your water, and then away you go again. Stop at Sydney, Nebraska, get some of the cheap fuel, get some proper food, and then maybe by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon you're thinking, I still feel quite good. Go again, and away you go. So, and then you're driving along, you're thinking, I think I'll stop now. I feel a bit weary. I've done great today. Pull in, maybe around Aurora, Nebraska, Crete, Nebraska, something like that. You've done nearly 1,000 miles in a day, and you've done it safely. However, ELD, not the case. You've got to run till midnight tonight to make the most of your time, and then you go to sleep, and the sun comes up, and the people start moving out the truck stops, and doors are shutting, and you get wakened up, and it's 7:30 in the morning, if you can sleep that long, and you can't leave for another 3 hours. So you're sitting there like a complete waiting, looking at your clock, thinking, I've got to wait. I'd rather leave at 8:30 now and be able to finish at 10:30 tonight, instead of waiting till 10:30 and working till midnight. These things are infuriating, frustrating for me. I've been coming across Wyoming, just when the ELDs, when we started going over the road, coming across there, and anybody knows Wyoming knows it's windy and it gets snowy. And I'm driving along there, it was 53 degrees, I can remember it like it was yesterday, 53 degrees, and I'm thinking, oh, this is great, fantastic. The weather forecast is snow. Snow, snow, snow. In the evening, we're expecting snow. And if they expect snow in Wyoming, it's like a guarantee. You're getting snow. If it's going to be windy, you're getting it. It's not like it's no a chance of, it's 100% you're getting it. So I'm coming across there, and I don't want any violations on my ELD because it shows up there. As soon as you pull into a way station, you've got it. They've got you. They just need to look for the little red violation thing. But I get as far as a place called Point of Rocks, Wyoming, by 3 in the afternoon, 2:30, 3 in the afternoon, and I could have been in Salt Lake in 4 hours maybe. I'd have been sitting in there waiting to unload. Clear roads, great. So I didn't even have enough hours to get to to Rock Springs. I've got to pull in to Point of Rocks, which is a gas station. No disrespect to it, but it's not as modern as Love's. I'll just leave it at that. There was no Wi-Fi, there was no signal on my phone, there was no internet on my phone, nothing. But I had to stop there just to keep the little box happy, the little ELD. I had to stop there and keep it happy, rather than keep driving away from the snow coming in behind me. So at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, shut down till 1 in the morning. I couldn't move, and I sat there and I watched it get colder and colder, and then the snow came on, and I sat there and I thought, I'm gonna have to drive tomorrow. So the next morning I got up, 1 in the morning, snow all over the road. I've got to drive across snow to keep the ELD box happy, to be safe. I had to wait for the snow coming so that I could be safe. What's that all about? Really? It's insanity. Really absolute nuts that you should have to stop, take a 10-hour break so that the snow can come and get you. Not good, not good. So I think we should band together, get not a petition, but whatever it is they do, put something on YouTube and just get some snowball, and if you get something like that to go viral. And fortunately the administration that's in charge of the country at the minute are quite into social media, and if you could get something like that there where somebody's having a break, doing whatever, and look in YouTube and something pops up, or it gets enough momentum that it ends up getting some news or some traction. But I think there should be a movement made towards getting rid of the logs. If we haven't been stupid and doing crazy things, I know there's big money in these mega carriers, I know they've got the legal departments that want to keep it. It doesn't suit them to, I don't think it does anyway, I don't think it suits the mega carriers to abolish driver's hours, because they get to do it their way and maintain the ultimate restrictive control on a driver. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, I'm the only one. I'm the only guy that's working for me that hasn't worked for Swift, and that is their biggest complaint, is that the in-cab monitoring with cameras in the cab and everything, they tell you where to fuel, they tell you everything apparently. I don't know, I'm only repeating what I've heard. But I've got guys that work for me that have got common sense, know when to drive, know when they're tired, know when they can push it, know when they're, nobody ever gets a kick in the butt from me for taking a break. If they want to take a break, they can take a break, and that's it. Last year Paul took 24 hours off in Wyoming because he just felt super tired, and yeah, take a break. The broker was not happy, but hey, I'm not going to tell him to drive and endanger himself and the load and the truck and other users on the road. So But I think that if we get a chance to govern ourselves, have a bit of free agency and a bit of intelligence, you know, I'm fed up with truck drivers being treated like morons where we can't think. You know, you're driving along there and you don't realise, oh, I'm tired. Poof, you're asleep. You know, we all know when you're getting tired. But if you could pull over and take a nap, no, but everybody's afraid to stop and take a nap because if you stop, you've got to stop for 10 hours. So that's my issue. Let's get the logs going. I'm heartbroken at the thought of them coming back because we're doing really well without them, paying our bills, making money, delivering things safely, and taking care of everybody else on the road safely. So a little bit of support here and vote for the truckers, eh? So thanks for watching. Oh, by the way, subscribe if you can. Thanks.